Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis, and today we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP. So sit back, relax, and before we fully jump on into this video, I do just want to ask guys, please leave a like on this video. It does help the channel grow immensely, and of course I always do greatly appreciate that. Now, with that being said, let's make sure that the entire market is refreshed. So here we are sitting at about 40.5K still on Bitcoin, still kind of ranging around that area that I mentioned in yesterday's video. On Ethereum, we still are ranging on that major resistance point. That resistance level is very strong. We're going to be addressing this later on, but for the most part, the market is sitting stable. Not too much has changed at all. So let's actually really discuss what is happening behind the scenes with, of course, XRP and Ripple. There's a lot of movement along the board for some alts, but like I said, with XRP and things like that, some of them are just going to sit stable until their major breakout event actually happens. But with XRP and with, of course, what Ripple is doing, I do believe that the future is very, very bright. So let's actually watch, or I shouldn't say watch, but let's talk about a few things. More so, I'm focusing on areas of growth and development. So if you guys missed it, yesterday, Ripple announced that they're basically committing 1 billion XRP to expand the XRP ledger grants. Now, this is going to accelerate major growth on the ecosystem in terms of an accelerator program, DeFi program, a diversity and inclusion fund, a sustainability program, an expanded grants judging committee as well. There is going to be so much growth happening on the XRP ledger, and I'm very, very excited for this. I'm also excited to watch more and more programs coming to this area for Ripple, especially talking more so about DeFi. I just addressed this in yesterday's video on HODL, but DeFi is such a major area of opportunity for a lot of assets and networks, and I do believe that XRP getting in on this area will actually help, streamline, profits on not only XRP, but also inclusive to Ripple as a company as well, because you guys do see the market cap here at about $144 billion. Honestly, the growth here is extremely massive, and also I just talked to you guys a little bit about yesterday talking about DeFi going mainstream on with HODL. Sorry, we do see Aussie and FinTech to offer mainstream direct access to DeFi with a fixed rate, followed by DeFi to reach mass adoption via institutional participation, decentralized exchange founder says. Honestly, we're going to see a lot more growth in these areas. And honestly, we even see down here earlier in 2022, liquidity protocol Avi launched a permission DeFi pool. The pool allows institutions to access decentralized finance features while being compliant with existing regulations. And this is the big point here, existing regulations. As we do see regulations being the main talk around crypto, it's going to lead for mass adoption, specifically within the institutional area. Like, I don't believe that people realize the massive growth that institutional players will actually bring to this space. It's going to streamline not only, value and volume, but also streamline more, entries of the retail individuals, corporate clients, and so much more. And I know that as we do talk about crypto, it is more so of a decentralization problem with a lot of these major players, but I want you to all realize that having institutional investors and corporations moving in on crypto does not mean that it loses the decentralization aspect. It's still extremely decentralized. We're just having centralized entities moving in and adopting this technology because they do see the value behind it as well, and that's not a bad thing. It's still 100% decentralized, just with centralized players in this game. We also see, of course, the Ripple Liquidity Hub. This is going to be launching in, of course, this year. I believe that this is going to be extremely huge as well. Source digital assets with ease. Ripple Liquidity Hub will enable enterprise companies to easily and efficiently, source digital assets from the broader crypto market. Now, I love the idea that they're mentioning a few names in this video. They're talking about PayPal, Square, Visa, MasterCard. I mean, these are major players in, of course, the fintech area. We do see, XRP, Bitcoin. We also see fiat currencies here. And this is going to streamline, again, adoption, not only of crypto, but crypto technology. So I'm very excited to see a lot of this unfold, and we do see, how it works. You also see how enterprises benefit, and of course, looking for additional revenue streams as well. This is going to be very interesting. Also, it's through a plug-and-play API gateway, which I love to see. It's very easy to set up, and it's instant. Like, you could instantly set this stuff up. So this is very cool, very interesting as well. And when we are talking about this, I want you to all realize that anything liquidity, pay attention to with Ripple, because a lot of that liquidity is coming from, of course, XRP. So that is going to most likely be the source of it. And I do believe that this liquidity hub will most likely launch once we do see regulations in place. So, I believe a lot is ranging on the SEC case. We've always known that. And of course, going back to November 9th, talking about the liquidity hub, we do see Ripple liquidity hub for the enterprise. These are enterprise grade clients. These are massive billion-dollar plus clients that they're targeting here. But you guys can really see this. They're talking about, leveraging crypto, tokenized assets, smart, contracts, and more to transfer value and fuel a rising tide of global digital transactions and commerce. And of course, liquidity is the biggest key to this puzzle. And that is exactly why when we are talking about XRP with the on-demand liquidity service, it is such a massive service because none of this is possible without that key. So again, this is extremely bullish for us. Now, we do see to enable this today, we revealed plans for the Liquidity Hub, a groundbreaking new way for enterprises to easily and efficiently source digital assets from the broader crypto market. As a Liquidity Hub platform built for the enterprise, it will unleash the potential to access deep liquidity within markets, accelerating the shift to crypto. I want you guys to realize this is going to be accelerating the mainstream adoption of crypto technology in the enterprise area. More so talking about financial institutions. And this is a turnkey solution through, of course, API gateways. And do not get it twisted. XRP will play a main key in this. They are achieving interoperability, liquidity sourcing, and a lot of other things through, of course, the XRP ledger with XRP in mind as well. So I'm very excited for this, and we do see, even they're talking about on-demand liquidity, explaining that we have been successfully using the same crypto sourcing technology to support Ripple's on-demand liquidity product for nearly 2 years now. In response to customer demand, Ripple is making this proven resource available as a customer-facing product for 2022 and beyond. This liquidity hub is sourcing that on-demand liquidity service, and we know that that service does not work without XRP. Now, let's talk about ISO 222 and, of course, SWIFT. Where do we stand on, of course, the journey to ISO 222? Now, I want you guys to realize this is the head of direct clearing and asset account services products at BNY Mellon. Now, they are talking about ISO 222 and really kind of getting into that messaging platform. Now, they are talking, there has been delays within this and things like that, but I want you guys to realize what is going to happen with it within this. So first off, they are talking about this massive big bang approach. So you guys do see down here, while plans for the migration of chips and the FedWire funds service for the US dollar area has not been officially confirmed, they are tentatively set to migrate using a big bang approach in November 2023. I can't even talk right now. Meaning that all the banks connected on chips and FedWire will make the switch to enriched ISO 222 messages on the same day. It's going to be that big bang event, meaning that they are all transitioning over to this massive messaging system. Now, I know that a lot of people think that ISO 222 is going to be this massive, big, pump for all of these major assets in the space. I don't believe that that is the case. In fact, I actually have a little bit of, a deeper correlation within this. I honestly believe that this is going to streamline the idea of real-time settlement and instant payments. Now, this will definitely 100% usher in a revolution in payments. They're even talking about SWIFTs down here, SWIFT's, major merge to ISO 222 and things like that. I don't believe that the focus should be on SWIFT entirely. I don't think that SWIFT is even something to really kind of watch for right now, as we have been seeing cyber attacks being, threatened with SWIFT. We've been seeing nations wanting to pull out of SWIFT because they are tired of course, a US dollar dominated area. And also, just so you guys know, when we are talking about the FedNow service, which I've discussed with Volante Technologies with, of course, Ripple. We do see FedNow's progress on instant payments may weaken case for the digital dollar. Now, I want you guys to understand right now that it's really not talking, like in my opinion, like I don't really care about what happens in terms of the idea with the US dollar and its dominance. I just know at this current moment when we are ushering in, a CBDC, it's not going to be backed by the dollar. I've always said that when we're talking about, these CBDCs, they will most likely be backed by gold or some sort of asset similar to that. And I know that a lot of people are probably going to the comments right now saying, is it going to be backed by XRP? No, most likely not. But I will say this, when we are talking about CBDCs and things like this, I do think that the dollar is collapsing. I think that we are going to be seeing the US dollar not have a dominant area around the world anymore. I think CBDCs and these major, developments within digital payments is going to allow for us to kind of usher into a new world where there is not one dominant currency. These areas are going to have their own currencies, which will be digital currencies. But we do see, first mover advantage. It's those last four awards that are key to the FedNow's ability to weaken the case for the digital dollar. Now, they are saying launching in 2023, FedNow will be years ahead of the digital dollar, which would take years to launch even if it was approved today. And given that the U.S. only Wednesday announced its formal interest in the CBDC, just reaching that decision will almost certainly take several years. Now, this is after, Jerome Powell said that he's not in a race to create a digital dollar. He thinks that they have that first mover advantage because of course, the US dollar is the reserve currency, but how long is that actually going to be the reserve currency for? We've been seeing a lot of developments in the idea of these major players pulling out of the dollar, which would most likely collapse, of course, SWIFT. Now, talking about SWIFT, we do see Ripple partner and Wells Fargo collaborating on SWIFT replacement. Now, with this in mind, I want you guys to understand that, when we're talking about the clearinghouse being a partner of Ripple, I don't believe that this was a confirmed partnership, and I wouldn't consider this being a major partner of Ripple anyways. But I will say this, when we are talking about a challenge to SWIFT or challenging the SWIFT network, okay, I want you to realize that it's all focused on the best efficiencies. These major financial institutions, just like I said yesterday, are going to want to save as much money as they possibly can. They're financial institutions at the end of the day. So why wouldn't they want to save as much money as they possibly can on all these transactions, cutting out that middleman? Now, when we're talking about those middlemen, being cut out, it's going to be focused on Ripple as a partner, as a client, portal, if you will. Like I always kind of look at, the Ripple network as a client portal for these banks. They will basically utilize this plug and play technology to have a settlement platform behind it. It's going to be very interesting once we do see live adoption of this happening within the banking scene, and once we do see volume actually flowing over the Ripple network utilizing XRP, because we know that 60% savings is something to not disregard at all. But when we are talking about like things like this, they are focused on, I would say rivaling, SWIFT. But I really don't even think our focus should be even on replacing SWIFT at this point, because SWIFT in itself will most likely collapse with the dollar. As more and more players pull out of the SWIFT network, pull out of the US dollar dominated areas, more so like talking about, oil payments instead of the US dollar, they're taking, the digital yuan, or they're, utilizing the yuan. Like things like that hurt the US dollar dominance extremely, like to extreme levels, right? And right now, I would say there's an extreme focus on areas of importance with payments, more so talking about real-time payments. But it's not the idea, like the clearinghouse is not a Ripple partner. A lot of this information that gets, thrown out here is very, very, critical in the idea on getting you to click, getting you to read. But it's not a Ripple partner. Do not get, distracted by things like this. I will say this though, when we're talking about like the FedNow service and we're talking about Volante Technologies and things like that, that is a confirmed partner with Ripple. Ripple is a processor with Volpay, which we talked about yesterday. So I would focus more so on things like that, because I do believe that Ripple does have the potential to absolutely disrupt the SWIFT network. They never had a clear image in mind to, usher in an idea on like replacing SWIFT or absolutely disrupting SWIFT, but they didn't need to. They don't need to focus on that. They don't even need to focus on SWIFT at all, because what they have been doing, what they have been building for the last decade itself, is already ultimately killing Swift. So with that in mind, focus on things that are being built, focus on things that are being launched. More so, the liquidity hub is something so big because I don't think people realize that this Ripple, liquidity hub is going to source liquidity through XRP through on-demand liquidity. They wouldn't be, able to achieve that massive liquidity hub without XRP. And I've always discussed this. I don't know why the graphics aren't loading here anymore. Like they definitely should. Things are kind of like broken right now on this website, but here you guys have it. So there we go. So there's XRP, as a token. Now I'm not saying that this is like, oh hey, look at they have to use XRP, all day long here, but it is confirmed that on-demand liquidity it just doesn't work at all without XRP because through RippleNet they are leveraging XRP. I'm not the one making this up. I'm not saying, hey, they need to use XRP or anything. No, Ripple themselves already stated that. So everyone, that is always saying, hey, how do you know XRP is actually going to be utilized? Ripple, they have the choice to utilize RippleNet without XRP. Well, with liquidity, they do not. So that is why I am definitely focusing on the liquidity hub. I'm also focused on DeFi with Ripple because I think that is such an incredible opportunity for them to really get into. But I'm also excited for CBDCs and things like that to move forward. I'm not excited for retail CBDCs. I would love to stay away from those if we could. But of course, things are inevitable. We got to wait to see what actually happens in that area. But with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. It's been Nick. Peace out, guys.